Morning everyone. So this week on my vlog I'm going to talk about my weekly commute. So some of you would have seen some time ago I done a video about how I live in a flat and own an electric car, which is still the case. Things over the last year or so have changed in terms of how I do things. Also my work, I suppose life has slightly changed in terms of what I do in terms of locations. So I before I was out almost all the time, so I would likely have to charge most of the time at the beginning, places like Trusty and Polar and various other ones, but at the time it wasn't very, I wouldn't say widespread, but it wasn't as reliable perhaps as some of the networks are now. And I wanted to do a follow-up video to that and to give you an indication of how things have changed and what I do now for charging. So today I'm going to start with Tuesday. So Monday I was working from home, and today I'm due to go in the office. So I've started this morning's miles with 41 miles on the gasometer. I'm driving a BMW i3 2017 full electric, and I have approximately 34% left. So the temperature outside is reasonably chilly, so that has a factor on obviously how much you use. The rough average miles to the office is 35 miles each way, and today I will be charging at the office. This will be basically a kind of, I suppose, almost a daily vlog in one video of my charging routine and my average charging routine. 5 miles to the office, which should leave me around 6-7 miles in the gasometer likely. It's all back roads, all country lanes, and we'll charge at the office. Now the office, I probably won't be able to give you a total, but generally the charging at the office, and I do pay for electric there, is generally I think about 10p a kilowatt. My bills at the end of each month for both Polar and the office one, which is New Motion, is between 20 and 30 pounds for each, depending on what I've used more essentially. And the Polar one is including the £7 monthly subscription. So we'll have a look at that and see if hopefully this will help anyone thinking about getting an EV and not sure if they can run it on a public charger. But also, if you're lucky enough to have someone that's put in work chargers, then make use of it. It's there, it's convenient, and if you don't have access to anything else, then why wouldn't you use that? So arrived at work with about 14 miles left, which is pretty good, under the 15-mile range, and I'm just about to charge up using my New Motion card at work. I'll put a car on charge for the day while I'm in the office. No one else uses these. There's another 2 points here. They're all 7 kilowatts, and I have a full charge when I get out. So that will cost me approximately £2, I think, to fully charge today. So I get my billing at the end of each month for New Motion and Polar. So after charging at work, it was Tuesday, as stated earlier. We'd charged for about 4 hours on the work charger, a 7 kilowatt charger, and got a full charge with approximately 144 on the gasometer, and another 35 miles home, and I'll be left with approximately 90 miles in the gasometer when I reach home. So the price of that is approximately, I think it's 10 kilowatts 10p a kilowatt hour, I think, or 10 35p a kilowatt. Usually it's a couple of pounds to £2.50, something like that, to charge my car at work. So that is Tuesday. Tomorrow we've got a shortish journey, probably a 15-mile round trip, so it's unlikely I'll need to charge them, but we'll see how we go, and I'll have a further update then. Morning everyone. So today is Wednesday and I've got 87 miles in the Gesame, approximately 74%. I've got a round trip of about 50 miles this morning. Don't know whether I'm going to need to charge or not, but we'll see how we get on. I've got a long journey tomorrow, so it may be that I charge later this evening. So yeah. So another stop still on Wednesday, and I'm just really topping up for my journey tomorrow. I'm going to Wolverhampton tomorrow, so I want as much as possible beforehand before I get started. So I was at about 65-70%. Sorry, 65-70 miles. So I'm just topping up to about 95% ready for tomorrow. I'll still have about 25 miles back home before tomorrow, but it'll give me a good start tomorrow, and then a stop on the way to Wolverhampton tomorrow. So 28 minutes at Milton Keynes hub, and 14 point something kilowatt hours put back into the battery, and up to 98%, so ready for the trip home and Wolverhampton tomorrow. So Wolverhampton will likely need a stop on the way, but that's kind of planned in. And yeah, so that'll be, this is Wednesday's kind of, I suppose, final report, and then we'll move to Thursday. Hi everyone, so it's now Thursday morning, so I had to do a bit more of a journey last night, another 30 miles. So I left home this morning with about 68% and about 88 miles, and I've probably got 110 miles to go today. So I've stopped at the Milton Keynes charging hub, obviously, and to top myself up, and that should get me all the way up to Wolverhampton and a little way back, so I can charge on the way home. So I'm probably not going to top up much, probably similar to yesterday, about 14 kilowatts, something like that, and we'll see how we get on. We'll film on the next charging stop. As you can see, charging hub is empty again. Very rarely see anyone here, occasionally do, but saw somebody at the these, I don't know if you can see those in the background, Ionity chargers. Somebody with a Model 3 yesterday, which was cool. Didn't particularly overly like it in grey. I think all the other colours are good, but grey seems to be just a bit dull, but that's just my personal preference. So just filled up, ready to go to Wolverhampton from Milton Keynes, where I've topped up. I'm at 97.5% and 146 miles on the Gesame. It should be more than enough. So hi guys, so probably my last post for this week. I'm at a Instavolt charger in Wolverhampton and just charging up for the trip home. So I was at 60 miles left, so I couldn't quite get enough to get all the way home, which is about 110 miles. So I'm going to charge up to full here, or near as full, and then make my way home. So total cost is going to be a little bit higher on this one, being an Instavolt one. It's 35p a kilowatt, so I'm expecting probably about a £5 or £6 bill from this one. And I will round up next of how much distance and how much cost this week, which is kind of averaging out really as an average week for me. So you had a bit of work charging and some charging away in terms of public, and that kind of balances out of what I would likely do and how much it would cost. So just to, I suppose, just to reiterate, I now charge in between public charging and work charging. When I'm in the office, it's work charging, I still pay for it, it's not free, and obviously public charging as well. So I'll give you a breakdown of how much distance and cost and that sort of stuff to wrap the video up. Okay, so back after my trip from Wolverhampton, but I've stopped off at the coachway again on the way home. I actually got back with 60 miles to spare and about 50% on the battery, so done really well. Main reason is like the 50 and 60 mile an hour speed limits that they've got on some of the motorways actually benefits EVs quite a bit. They may be boring us how to drive, but it benefits because it's more efficient, so you use less in terms of electricity, and seems to be a lot of regen, so I got quite a bit back. So I'm now just topping up for the final bit. Again, it'll probably be quite similar to before, 15-16 odd kilowatts to fill back up, maybe a couple of pounds to do that, but this will be my final, I suppose, charging check-in for the week. So just to summarize the week then, so I have done several trips. So working from home Monday, Tuesday I done a 70 mile round trip, Wednesday I done probably about the same after a second journey, so 140 miles, and today I've done around 220, so 350 odd miles ish. My biggest bill was Instavolt, which I charged up in Wolverhampton today, and that was £6.26 for the 20 odd kilowatts that I used. Other than that, I have a very relatively low bill from the work chargers, which is New Motion. They will work out approximately around £2, and the other ones for Polar probably around the same sort of amount, £2 to £3 in total of what I've used. So probably the week's worth of fuel is somewhere around the £10 to £12 mark for 360 mile journey. So very good, very efficient. This is how I manage public charging, or I should say don't really have to manage. Part work charging now, part public charging. Public charging really is easy. Yes, the charging hubs in Milton Keynes makes that bit easy for certain journeys, but there's plenty of charging points around now. Yes, there could always be more. That's always a bone of contention. But infrastructure is getting better. It's getting there. Hopefully, things will just improve upon as we go through. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed this video of my average week in terms of charging. If you did like this video, please give me a like, please subscribe, check out my Patreon page, and until next time, thanks for watching and see you again very soon. Bye bye. And again, at the charging hub, it's always empty. Getting paranoid now that I'm always here on my own.